Hello. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus. Wow, beautiful. Who is he?
I don't know.
You missed it. So my hair is like super greasy because it needs to be washed. And after trying everything that happens around me, I have my new dry shampoo. Like I followed the directions and I was like, okay, sweeping motion. Did that. Then I like looked at myself and I can't see anything, but I looked at myself and it's just all white. And I was like, like,
Oh,
what do I
did you
do?
did you pick up the spray paint?
It's because I'm not used to using dry shampoo. I didn't know that they made it like this anymore, but normally dry shampoo now like is tinted for dark
Hmm.
hair. And on my FabFitFun box, it says I've got dark hair. I thought that this brand, because it's a pretty good brand, have counted for either that or just made it clear. But no, no. This is the thing I hate about dry shampoos. There's residue all over my hands. My hair feels disgusting. It smells nice though.
So is this a sponsorship deal or?
No, this is an anti-sponsorship deal. If anything,
Oh,
I'm shaming them. So
so we're
basically, if my hair looks vaguely gray at any point, that's why.
happy.
Not that old.
It's wrestling NXT. Welcome to NXT, everyone. Things happened, except not really. Nothing really happened in this episode.
Episode.
Hmm.
Good episode.
It was okay. It was decent. The only kind of story progress we got was Johnny or Austin potentially leaving the way. Which would fucking suck. Um, the Hit Row Legato feud starting. And that's kind of it in terms of story progress. Because Karrion knocking out Regal, we're kind of back at where we were at the start of the episode.
Back where we were at the start of pre-Joe.
Yeah.
Just the whole point of Joe.
Well, Joe helped calm everyone else down. Karrion, though, he's still a loose cannon. Because now Kyle and Adam are no longer fighting. Pete and whoever he was feuding with are no longer fighting. So. But
It was a good episode in like entertainment value. It just was kind of a.
We had two great matches. I gave one match a 9 out of 10.
Nearly watched a man die today. Chase, Mr. Chase,
Oh,
Andre
Andre
Chase.
Chase. Yeah.
We watched him eat shit, so that was fucking stressful.
Yeah. Raquel Gonzalez defended her title against Xia Li. That was uneventful. Samoa Joe yelled at Karrion from across the room.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Got Joe singing people's names again.
Oh, Wendy.
He fucking screamed Carrion's name like that, and I was like,
Oh, Karrion, come out and play.
wow, nature is healing.
um, we had the Legato Mariachi Madness, except not really. Was
Yeah,
their
what was that
response?
about? I wanted actual music.
Yeah, but that was the whole point. Was like they're not gonna sink as low as Hit Row and just play music. Their music is in the sound of their fists.
I just I don't know. I don't know.
They did it so they could have a guitar smash spot.
Yeah. Valid. Fair and valid. You didn't have to do Walking Wild like that, though. That was kind of...
Wild's
fitting.
Wild is the one that takes all the bumps to make feuds happen, to create some heat. He's like Shanky, with Jinder. Like how Shanky was beaten to shit by Drew. Like the same thing.
Apparently, Mick Foley was mad that that happened.
Oh, I'm sure. Mick Foley knows the dangers of chairs.
No, he more so said that it should only happen in like massive like feuds or like really big fights and stuff like that. It shouldn't just be like something that happens.
Yeah, because
Like,
that just buried Shanky.
yeah, like I guess you got a point, Mick.
But we'll cover everything once we get into the actual recap. For now, do you have news?
I have some news actually.
Wow.
Like, I've got more news tonight than I did last night. It's still not a lot of news, but I have news.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a pounding fucking headache, which has made everything else that's been happening so much more fun.
That's fun.
Let's see, where do we want to start? Let's start with non-WWE news, and that is that somebody has joined Bullet Club.
Oh. For a second, I was like, wait, who the fuck?
Yeah. It is Chris Bay. So, I don't know what that means, but I'm excited. We love a good new member of Bullet Club. Also, it reminded me that we get to see Jay White on Thursday, and I was like,
Maybe on Wednesday.
Maybe.
Kenny's gonna be there. Kaz is gonna be there.
Gallows and Anderson are going to be there.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Gallows is a match.
With Frankie.
Yeah.
Which was technically a piece of news, and then I read, like, it was something that I saved, because they were like, Impact Star is going to be at Fyter Fest, and I was like, oh, fuck, who? And they were like, Frankie Kazarian. I was like, that doesn't fucking count.
I also said that.
Count.
I said that yesterday during the podcast.
I thought I had heard about it from you at some point. Mm-hmm. That's another reason why I was like, I'm not going to fucking talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
I would have asked you, but after I read the article, I was like, that's not fucking... Frankie Kazarian being on an AEW is not news to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then have some updates that aren't actually updates, which, let's start with Bray Wyatt, and the update on Bray Wyatt is that there's absolutely no timetable for Bray Wyatt to return. Is away for a specific reason. That is all WWE sources have said. You might be right with the John Cena thing, but right now it doesn't look like there's much of anything to put together on his end.
Well, if the plan's right, if my theory's right, they wouldn't need to reveal it until after SummerSlam, or even at SummerSlam. They could do that, but I mean, they don't have to do that anytime soon. You don't need to add Bray to the match to make it any better. I actually have a piece of news on
What's it about?
Mr. Tommy End, Malachi Black.
You should have brought it up before you started talking about WWE news.
I just found it.
All right, go ahead.
So, in an interview with Squared Circle Pit, Malachi talked about his release from WWE, and he said that his wife, Zelina Vega, cried, but he just laughed and said that his immediate thought was to go to AEW.
As were all of our thoughts.
Just found it. The reason Zelina probably cried was because she was like, "Oh fuck, but I'm coming back." And that also sucks for the sake of like them being together, because AEW and WWE have 2 separate tour schedules.
That is something that I would like actually probably be upset about.
Yeah. Like, what do you do?
If I were in a relationship, not see the person very often or fly a lot and rack up those miles.
I mean, to be fair, like Matt Hardy said, you're only really working once a week unless it's a pay-per-view weekend. Essentially they only fly out for 1 day.
Yeah.
In Malachi's case, that's a Wednesday, and Zelina, it's a Friday.
Yeah.
But I assume it's like overnight stays. So
I'm sure.
Like 2 days.
Unless you're somebody like Brody Lee was, where he was just like, "Nah, I'm fucking leaving right now. In the morning."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got a piece of news that I'm not like really thrilled about sharing. Daniel Bryan, man, no one talks about, but like maybe we should be talking about, is currently there have been no discussions of him coming back to WWE. He's not listed on the company's roster. A lot of people in the company are starting to think that he's going to sign with AEW. And Daniel Bryan is not a part of talent plans for merchandising over the next year, and he is not slated for any future Mattel action figure releases. And at this time, he has been removed from all future merchandising by the WWE. So I think we may have seen Daniel Bryan's farewell match.
What a hell of a match to be his last one.
It sucks. I'm a little upset about it because if there's anybody that's like synonymous with WWE, it's probably Daniel Bryan for me. Aside like John Cena.
Even though like he hasn't really been in WWE super long. Cause he was in Nexus. He was like a nobody. That just goes to show how well he's done building himself up. But he will be able to do what he wants, traveling around and wrestling. Maybe we'll see him across AEW, Impact, elsewhere if he wants.
Yeah, I'm upset that he might be leaving WWE. I'm gonna be happy to see him regardless, because it's gonna be like an Aleister Black for me, where it's like, oh well, still watch this show, still a fan of the show, so. Whatever.
I have one more piece of news. It's about
Okay,
Biggie.
About Biggie. I've got 2 pieces of news, I think.
Okay. Well, I'll be quick about this. So Biggie was asked about the possibility of Conor McGregor joining WWE, because apparently he has been talking about making the switch from MMA to professional wrestling. And Biggie said that he'd welcome Conor McGregor to WWE, but isn't sure everybody else would have the same mindset. He said, quote, "So yeah, I would never have a problem with that. Not everyone would welcome him or feel the same, but he's extremely entertaining. And I think if he did come to WWE, I think he would get a lot of attention. I think he would be worth the investment, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So yeah, I would not have a problem with it." But then he talked about some other aspects of Conor McGregor that he is not so happy with. He said, "For me, I guess the only stuff that bothers me, and it's not my position to really judge him, but it's the legal stuff, you know what I mean. I take some pride in when I look around our locker room, and I'm not saying things are perfect, but I want to be in a locker room with people who are good people who obey the law, you know what I mean, who aren't getting in trouble, and that's the only thing." Jimmy Uso's just fuming. So yeah, it's just an interesting little tidbit Nice to see that Big E is likes a nice law-abiding atmosphere.
Yeah. To a certain degree, I suppose.
He did say it's not perfect.
Yeah, that's fair. No point with that.
But also, would not want Conor McGregor in WWE. That would be like another Goldberg.
Oh my god, no, I can't stand Conor McGregor. So fucking annoying. I'm like a horrible human being. Also racist. Oh.
Careful, you're going to be asked to back that up in by the chat.
I think I could look up Conor McGregor racist and find at least 3 sources. So okay. My next piece of news, and I believe my last piece of news, is just that the Summer of Cena is underway. So his appearance schedule has been released. It's going to be on Friday, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, 26th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 6th, 7th, 9th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 20th, 21st of August. The 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 30th, and 31st are all July. But he's going to be around for a while. Oh. I don't think he's part-timing it.
I'll believe it when I see it, because Edge kind of had the same deal.
Like, this is legitimately, like, you are coming to these shows, you're seeing John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Alright. Like to see
Unless you can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, no one can anyway.
We haven't made that joke yet.
Pat McAfee already did.
No, but, like, I like making the joke of, like, John Cena's out there and you're like, oh, there's nobody there. It's one of my favorite jokes.
Is that all the news? You have to sign up. Yep. After all that trouble with the sign you had earlier.
If this hadn't fallen down, I would have just fucking slapped it. Okay, so apparently one of the bottom rungs wasn't closed, even though this had been standing normally this whole time, and then I moved. It must have been resting against the chair because I moved and it just fell, and I was like,
don't break my tripod. My only tripod.
Your tripod fucking works.
Using it as a fucking sign stand.
Actually. That works better than this one.
It worked fine before you started using it. And
it works fine. The only thing that is fucked up about it is the literal this thing.
What thing?
This thing! This doohickey jobby.
The thing that you broke?
I didn't break it.
You did break it. It fell on the ground. Because you knocked
Gravity
it.
broke it, Mark.
Okay.
Gravity broke it. And
All
it did
right,
not fall on the ground,
NXT,
it fell on the desk.
NXT. We started off with Samoa Joe coming out to the ring. He said, tick tock, guess who's come to smash your clock? I already fucked it up. Regal then comes out. He says, Joe, this is not what I wanted. Me and you agreed you would come here. You knew what I had in mind. You cannot be calling out superstars. Joe said, no, incorrect, Regal. The agreement was if I was provoked, I am here to deal out the consequences. Regal said, I understand, but you entered the ring in a ref capacity. You entered the ring in a ref capacity. He put his hands on Samoa Joe the ref, not Samoa Joe the official. Oh, semantics. Let me explain something. Kross is out of control. He needs to be put down. You don't control the man. You know it. I'm here to put him under control. Well, Joe, he was already put down by Jeff Hardy in a roll-up yesterday, so he beat you to the punch. Kross is on his way here. When he gets here, all hell will not break loose. You will solve this problem peacefully. Don't say another word unless it's the right one. I can guarantee tonight will be the end of this, but I can't guarantee it will end peacefully. Someone tonight is going to sleep. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Did you catch that? Oh, someone did go to sleep, but it was neither of them. It was Regal. Regal. Oh. After that, we had a little Xia Li vignette before her match against Raquel Gonzalez. She said, "I will be the next NXT Women's Champion. I plan on doing to you the same thing I did to Mercedes. I will make history and leave as the first Chinese NXT Women's Champion." Well, you'll be lucky if you leave with all your ribs. Then we had Tyler Rust and Roderick Strong versus Kushida and Bobby Fish. Diamond Mine's first tag team match.
I hate that you were correct.
Yeah.
But again, as we discussed, makes sense for this match.
I mean, of course. You can't have Kushida lose because he's the champion. Bobby's hot in this feud with Roddy. Roddy's not going to eat the pin because he's the next cruiserweight champion, or at least contender. And that leaves Tyler Rust.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, so we start, and this match was very hard to keep up with. Let me just say that right now. As far as a note-taking capacity is concerned. So we have Roddy in against Bobby. Roddy gets tripped with a drop toe hold, sending him into the buckles. Kushida gets in. Kushida and Bobby work together to break Roddy's arms, and then they kick him in the stomach. Kushida wants the abdominal stretch, but Kushida wants the abdominal stretch and gets it after some time. Roddy, however, manages to get free. He crawls away, gets Tyler in. Tyler gets pummeled. Bobby Fish gets in. Cannonballs from the apron onto Rust. Rust then barrels Kushida into the corner after he tags in. Roddy gets in off that. Kushida hits a kick to the side of Roddy's head. We get a backbreaker to Kushida. An ankle lock after tagging old Rusty Boy in. There's a kick to the back of Kushida before Rust gets Roddy back in. We get some chops to Kushida and a double underhook belly to belly. Roddy gets a chin lock on Kushida. Gets Rust in after Kushida breaks free. Kushida starts taking both the men on. He hits the handspring back elbows to Rust and Roddy. Gets Bobby in. Bobby audibly calls his fucking spot, telling Tyler what corner to go into, which was peak Bobby Fish, but also at the same time I was like, man, I stand up for you so much. Can you not do this? Bobby then is going for something, but yeah, I don't know. He had Tyler in his arms, just as I wish I had. But Roddy kind of anchors Rust by holding on to him from the apron. Tyler then sends an elbow to the back of Bobby's head, sending him through the ropes. Tyler...
Yeah?
I don't know what the fuck this note is. We get a kick to Bobby from Russ, and then a dragon screw to Bobby's leg. Roddy gets in. There's a chin lock on Bobby. Fish tries to go to his corner by striking Roddy with some knees, but Roddy slams him to the ground. Sends some knees into a now horizontal Bobby's back. Tyler gets in. There's an abdominal stretch with a fish hook on Fish, which is funny. Humor to that. It's humorous. Um, starts fighting back. And Rust attempts to smack Kushida on the apron, which seemed like a really stupid move because Tyler, your opponent's in the fucking ring. Takes his eyes off Bobby for a whole second and then it's planted by Fish with a spinebuster. Roddy gets in, Kushida gets in. Kushida takes strong down, hits the inverted atomic drop, and then there's a cartwheel drop kick off hip toss. Fucking series of moves. We get a kick to the side of the face of Roddy. Tyler gets in though. Some fucking weird ass slam, and then a kick upside the head that rocks Rust. Kushida goes for the hoverboard lock, but Rust tosses him down, gets the single leg crab into an ankle lock. And then Tyler does that fucking thing that, like, I don't know what to call it. You said a standing Spanish fly. I said a double snapmare.
No, I'm 99% sure it was a standing Spanish fly.
I'll have to look at what a standing Spanish fly looks like just so I can figure that out.
Because I think we've seen Austin Theory do one very recently. Or we've seen someone do it very recently.
Maybe. God, it's just such a hot move. So good. But Kushida gets a glancing knee to the elbow of Rust, and then a kick to that elbow. There's a kick to the face of Kushida, but Kushida still gets the hoverboard lock, and Tyler Rust, you know, the technical wrestler that he is, taps immediately. Fucking taps immediately. Does not writhe around in pain for like at least 3 seconds. He just taps.
He can deal out the pain, but he can't take it.
The only redeeming factor about this match was Malcolm's face.
Miriam said he used to call it the perfect circle.
It is perfect.
In PWG, she said. Question mark. It was a fun match. Kushida was hot. Roddy was hot. It was a lot of fun. After that we had Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. They roll in the Rolls Royce. LA Knight tells him to get his bags. He opens the trunk. There's a lot of bags. Cameron Grimes said, "All these bags? I used to carry bags back in the day." Drake Maverick walks in. He offers some help to Cameron Grimes. LA Knight says, "What are you doing? He doesn't need help. Go about your business." But he needs all the help he can get. "Who brought you? Hope they signed your permission slip. I'll see you later." "Don't worry, I got this." Glad I could do like 3 separate voices for that.
I feel like if LA Knight spoke the way you voice him, like for real, I'd be more into him.
My impression changes every day. I kind of lose it when I just start mid sentence or start mid promo. But then we get a vignette of Odyssey Jones. He says, "It's my time to shine. I've broken records in the weight room and jaws in the ring." That's right before his match against Andre Chase. But before that, we have Frankie Monet versus JC Jane. Frankie Monet has not put on a great match since she came here. I gotta be honest. In my opinion.
Disagree.
Well, what was the last good match she had?
First one.
Who was that against?
I don't even have a fucking clue.
Exactly.
I think that just says more about the person she fought. I know she fought Elektra.
Pretty sure it was Zeta Ramir, so you just insulted Zeta Ramir.
Zeta. Haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
So Frankie comes in with Jesse Camilla. Shoves JC into the corner. Robert Stone comes out and is like trying to be buddy with Camilla again. JC gets a punch on Monet and then a step up enziguri to Monet and a boot to the chest. Jane goes to cannonball onto Monet, but she avoids sending couple knees in the face of Jane and then gets a chin lock on Jane. Then Mandy comes in with like the most worn out Louboutins I've ever seen. I guess if you bought them, use them. There's an elbow to Monet's face and then some head scissors to Monet. Jane hits a cutter. We get a kick to the chest of Jane and a glam slam to win, and that was the match. It was not good. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I also did not like JC Jane. She made my head hurt more.
She was kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
She also thought that Mandy Rose was waving at her. Or watching her. No, JC.
See?
That even is a real name. But after that, we had an interview with Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. Johnny's asked how he is. He says, I've been better, I guess. Austin says, I haven't slept in weeks. Johnny's like, the match was last week, so that's unrelated. Kyle O'Reilly walks in. He said, I heard what you said. Something about me crying to Wade Barrett. I'm in a fighting mood, so we can square off tonight. Austin said, oh, you are thick. You're on. Kyle says, cool, I'll get my dancing shoes. And Johnny gives a little pep talk to Austin. He says, you got yourself into this one. You got to get yourself out of it, like I had to with Karrion. And then we had an interview with Bronson Reed with Wade Barrett. He's asked how losing the title affected him. He said, it affected me big time. Winning the title was a big moment in my life. In an instant, I'm no longer champion. I need to push forward and fight harder. I think it's wise to go after Adam Cole. Why not fight the best? He ran his mouth and I shut him down, and I'm going to finish the job. Yeah, Cole is destroying this guy. And then we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Theory, and this match fucking went off. This was fan-fucking-tastic. It was like a pay-per-view level match on free TV.
It was a good match. I think it wasn't my favorite Austin Theory match though.
What was your favorite Austin Theory match?
I don't know what my favorite one was, but I know it wasn't it.
Was it one of the ones on Raw?
Yeah, exactly. He would do crap falls. So Theory just sort of...
No. Go ahead.
Theory just sort of tosses Kyle. A kick to the hamstring of Theory. Theory goes to suplex Kyle, but Kyle evades it by getting a wrist lock on Theory and then gets fucking snap suplex anyway, so it doesn't really fucking matter. They grapple for a while. Austin goes to vertical suplex O'Reilly, but O'Reilly lands on his feet. There's an elbow to O'Reilly. O'Reilly then dodges Theory, slaps him after like charging him. Just goes in and just cute.
That was great. That got a huge pop. That literally got holy shit chance.
I loved it. So O'Reilly unloads Theory from the ring, sending him to the apron, and then kicks him in the back. Him off the apron. Kyle then kicks the legs from under Theory once he's back in the ring. We get like this weird ass fucking suplex from Theory to Kyle, where Theory basically goes over Kyle. What to call that? He tries to powerbomb Kyle, but Kyle goes under Theory instead. We get a dropkick to O'Reilly that ends in a heel hook to Theory.
That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Smooth as hell.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Because I didn't know what was happening until I saw what was happening. I was like, oh fuck. So we get a rolling fisherman suplex to Kyle though. O'Reilly starts powering out of an arm submission. We get a knee to the midsection of O'Reilly of Theory that sends Theory flipping over Kyle's leg. I wrote O'Reilly twice instead of Theory. But sends Theory flipping over Kyle's leg. There's some knee strikes to Theory and just a barrage of the Muay Thai kicks and strikes. Finally brings Theory down. He breaks the arm of Theory by like smashing it against his body. And then get a knee to the jaw of Theory and a boot to the face. Then Theory gets thrown down in a double underhook right into an armbar.
Yeah.
Give me a moment here. I swear it was a good match. Riley, however, can't really get the armbar to lock in, so instead he goes to the heel hook. Fluid as fuck transition.
How has no one ever thought of that before?
Kyle O'Reilly. There's an elbow to the face of Kyle. He wants the powerbomb, or Theory wants the powerbomb, but O'Reilly counters. Goes to send a knee to Theory, but Theory dodges it, kicks Kyle hard. Then bombs him down, hits a fucking brainbuster that, like...
That was nasty.
Called a neck breaker, and I said, that's a fucking lie.
That was 100% a brain buster, and his brain was busted.
It was like a Sami Zayn brainbuster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Theory then starts kind of like losing the plot a little bit. Gets the fucking stairs, and the ref is like, fucking put those down. Theory's like, okay, I guess. O'Reilly then notices what's happening, gets all fucking powered up. There's a knee to the face of Theory, slams him into the barricade, then the stairs, and then the apron of the ring. Actually, then the barricade again, and then this apron. Get back in the ring, and it's ground and pound. Kyle gets a shin to the jaw of Theory, kicks him down before hitting a scissor kick, then a knee to the chest of Theory. Kyle then goes up top, goes down with a knee drop onto Theory's hamstring, and then a heel hook. Theory taps out, and that's that.
And that's how you work somebody's leg for a tap. That was really well done. The fucking storytelling in that match. A match that had zero lead-in besides that one interview. Had so much more storytelling than like any other match tonight.
Really good.
Even just like Theory's frustration with everything and eventually going full Hulk mode on Kyle. It was a work of art.
Yeah.
After that, we had an interview with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. She said what happened, or Raquel said what happened when I was asked about Ember. I won. Dakota said, after I beat Ember Moon, Zaya came in and stole the spotlight. Raquel will destroy her for it. Raquel said, they don't scare me. After I put Zaya down, there will be nobody left. And then we get the Legado Mariachi Madness, or we were supposed to. Santos said, stop. I'm not going to need you tonight. He sends off the mariachi guys. You know what? I was going to give you a taste of the best musical heritage, mi mariachi, and the best music in the world, but I changed my mind. I'm not going to lower myself to entertain you. ¿Por qué? Because you ain't worth it. I'm not going to do the hit row thing. Vomit a few lines, embarrass myself and my hermanos. What is this, a battle of styles? My style is being the true and real champion. So hit row, I'm going to take the North American title and put it up there with Blood, Heritage, Familia, and Legado de Lucha Libre. And then meanwhile, while this promo's happening, some dude fucking right behind commentary is just shouting, hit row, the entire time. So obnoxious.
Imagine being the people around him, though. I probably would have hit him.
Yeah. Probably annoyed the shit out of the fucking commentary booth. It was literally the dude right behind them. So Hit Row then walks out. Ashante says, you're all talking real spicy. B-Fab says, ¿Qué es esto? The whole music trash. You're all out here celebrating your birthday, your quinceañera. They were being, like, pretty stereotypical. Like, just not great.
It was... I feel like we've had this before, and I can't remember with what.
I don't know either. Nothing pops to mind.
I'll keep thinking.
But Top Dollar starts dissing them in a rap. One bar he dropped was, "All you stacked on each other is 6'8". I thought that was pretty funny. And then Swerve steps in and he says, "So back in 2020, it took an entire legato to get your title. Consider this payback. I've never seen kids kidnapped in a parking lot and returned right back. The fruits of the phantasmal labor is nice to see until I make Santos my bitch. In 10 years, the apple is not going to fall too far from the tree." Wild says, "Make those nursery rhymes all night. Santos says, "Make those nursery rhymes all night. I'll bring that title back to Mexico." Hit Row approach the ring. Legato attacks Hit Row, but Hit Row fends them off. Santos and Swerve then go at it. B-Fab gives Swerve one of the guitars that's still there. Swerve attacks Santos, but Santos escapes. Meanwhile, Wild runs into the ring, but is caught by Swerve. And Ashante kicks Wild in the head, and Swerve smashes him over the back with the guitar. And this feud will be great. And I wonder who's going to be the face.
That's a good question. I think it's going to be Legato.
I think so too. Because Legato's got that whole heritage thing that's like very very relatable to a lot of people.
I did just really love how when it was like the face off and Mendoza and Wild were like paired off with like Ashante and Top Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Mendoza just fucking took off across the ring, I was like, "Sir,
yeah,
you're about to get your ass kicked." You dove into the fire.
And then he dove back in to try and attack Swerve.
So I love them.
Yeah. So we then get the Way in the locker room. Candace says, "What is happening? Everything's been awful. We lost the titles. You lost to Karrion. Austin, you're fighting with everyone." Indy then says, "Candace, you're being hard on everyone. If he wants to kiss Dexter, he can kiss Dexter." And Candace's like, "Wait, what the fuck? I'm gonna call a therapist." Everyone's arguing. Austin just says this family is falling apart and just looks pissed off and leaves. And if Austin Theory leaves the Way, that will be the death of his character. That will be a travesty. Because he adds a lot to the Way, and his character being as silly as he is will not succeed really anywhere else. If the plan is to call him to the main roster, because he was at those dark matches last week, I don't think he'll do well. He's been at the main roster already, albeit in a more serious role, but I think he'll either be like Riddle and just resort to cheap jokes until he goes under the wing of an experienced wrestler, or they'll try and make him serious again. The fact that he got new music is kind of...
Well, no, they're gonna have to change the music in 2 weeks, so it's fine.
It did still have hints of the Way. That was still there. Also, Miriam said that Austin found out his real mom is back on SmackDown and has to go back to Zelina now. Oh, could you fucking imagine? That would suck. Zelina's back to managing after losing Money in the Bank.
For those who did not see tonight's episode or were not paying attention, Austin Theory's song references his age. Which,
he's 23.
is 23, which is correct right now, and as of August 2nd will not be correct. So I'm really excited to see what they're fucking going to do about that. Because did they maybe make 2 versions? They were like, well, we'll play this one now, and then we'll have another one for like a full year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit.
But God, I don't want him on the main roster. Don't. They'll butcher
He'll probably
yet
end up on
another.
Raw too if he goes up to the main
Yeah.
roster.
Yeah. All right. So we then get Samoa Joe waiting for Karrion at the front doors. Regal then walks in, says, "Kross will be here. Please calm down." Joe says, "This is not a respect issue. I'm gonna be the first man to greet Kross when he gets here." Regal says, "Peacefully, please." And then we get Andre Chase versus Odyssey Jones in the NXT Breakout Tournament.
Andre Chase, we're glad that you're still among the living. Let's start there.
Odyssey Jones fucking has it all. He's got it all.
I know he's amazing.
Amazing name, amazing wrestling skills. He's fucking acrobatic, or not really acrobatic, but very athletic, and just great vibes all around.
Yeah. So we get a kick. Rather, Andre Chase starts kicking the knee of Jones, kicks him across the face. A shoulder tackle to Chase. Jones lifts him for a powerbomb, but he fights down. Chase is still clotheslined from the ring. Can I just say that Odyssey Jones is obviously like a very big dude. He did a good job of making it look a little bit like, oh, maybe he's not actually gonna win this.
Yeah. I think also Andre did a really good job of like trying to let's just tack on the offense and also try and keep him out of the ring. Get that DQ.
Yeah. So this gets clothesline from the ring. And then I don't even know how he fucking did this. Jones was out by the announce desk after a certain point, and Chase went to go jump down onto him. Or like moonsault onto him, I think.
Yep.
And did not get that final rotation. And basically, if here's the floor, here's Andre Chase. And thank God, like, just the way that Jones saved him, sort of. It wasn't like, it didn't look like Odyssey Jones knew what he was fucking doing in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But just the way that he hit Odyssey Jones, like, kind of pushed him down enough. But, like, you could hear Beth Phoenix had the exact voice of a woman who is having fun, like a mother who's having fun, and all of a sudden she's like, oh no. Like, her voice went so serious, it was like not Beth Phoenix, it was whatever the fuck her actual name is.
Yeah, Andre just like hit a little too far to the right, and Odyssey couldn't quite catch him.
Yeah. He almost drove his entire body into itself, and I was like, thank fucking God we came this close to potentially seeing a man stretchered the fuck out of there. Glad we didn't. So Jones gets slammed into the girder, though, after Chase, ignores the fact that he nearly died. And then he gets slammed into the post of the ring. We get a kick to the...
What?
I wrote kick to the below.
Kick
Jones.
to the bottom.
I wouldn't have said belly, I would have said midsection. To a certain part of Jones that I don't really remember now. On the apron, I think it was the knee, actually. I don't know how it could have fucked up into below, but I think it was the knee.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was attacking originally. So a kick to the knee of Jones on the apron. We get Chase going up top. He moonsaults down onto Jones. But Jones then splashes Chase in the corner, pancakes him, and Jones wins.
Yes, and no idea how anyone's gonna beat this dude. unless your Duke Hudson and just give a swift uppercut to him, knocking him out.
To the Lord Duke Hudson.
Then we have an interview with MSK. Wes says, we're going to keep riding this wave of momentum. Nash said, we're going to take on all challengers. They're asked by Mackenzie how they, what MSK stands for. And then Wes says, oh, well, in Dayton, Ohio, 2015. And the feed is interrupted by Imperium. Fabian says, Marcel, you must love, respect, and love this business. I don't know. To us, the mat is sacred. Look at the NXT Tag Team Division. Immature champions. Fucking into my laptop. We are here to protect the purity of our sport. And then we go back to MSK. And Wes says, and that's what MSK stands for. We then go to a promo with Pete and Noni. Pete says, well, you've been asking people who think they're better to challenge me. If Timmy and Tommaso think they're better, then next week we'll all have a scrap. Oni says, next week we'll see how tough you really are. On the fucking ant, don't mind me.
Wait.
Welcome, Dark Sage. If you have a question, we have a question segment after the show. Thank you. Welcome. And, okay, so after that we have LA Knight versus Drake Maverick with Cameron Grimes in LA Knight's corner. This is a short match.
Yeah, it was.
It was
nice to see Drake Maverick.
The storytelling, which is good.
Yeah. I didn't take a ton of notes on what happened at the end of this match.
Mm-hmm.
So, might have to fill in the blanks there.
Okay.
But Maverick attacks Knight as he's handing off his belt to Grimes. We get a drop kick to Knight and then a back to belly suplex to Maverick. Maverick gets thrown up onto Knight's shoulders into the electric chair position, but Maverick turns it around into a Hurricane Rana. We get a high crossbody to Knight from Maverick. Knight then grabs Maverick, tosses him overhead, and starts yelling at Cameron Grimes about not, like, holding the belt up and shit like that, and Maverick rolls Knight up in the ring.
LA Knight wanted his own Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Yeah. An interesting finish. And LA Knight then goes in and attacks Drake. Continues beating him down. He wants Cameron Grimes to attack him as well. Cameron refuses, but LA Knight forces him to. So he does, and then as they're walking up the ramp, Cameron turns around and checks on Drake to make sure he's okay. And then we go to the parking lot where somebody pulls in Karrion's car. Samoa Joe fucking dashes out there, pulls him out of the car, and asks, "Where is he?" The guy says, "He told me to pull it in front." And then we get Raquel Gonzalez versus Xia Li for the NXT Women's Championship. And my god, poor Xia Li.
Not a long match by any means. Raquel slams Xia Li back. Xia jumps onto Raquel's back. They sleeper. Raquel slams her forward. We get up on Raquel's shoulders, though. Straight up don't even know how the fuck she did this. But basically, she goes from, like, standing to suddenly having her knees on Raquel's shoulders. And I said...
I forget how it happened, too.
It was very fluid. It happened in, like, the blink of an eye, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Xia, however, goes for a sunset flip off this position, but can't quite get it. Almost does, actually. Lee goes up and over Raquel. Raquel hits her anyways with a big boot to the face. There's a bug flying in my face. He goes to send a boot across Zaya's face, but Zaya dodges, begins wrapping Raquel's leg around the post and slamming it into it. Raquel then gets slammed into the steps. There's drop kicks to the knee of Raquel, and then a Boston Crab on Raquel. Goes for a crossbody, but is caught. Raquel hits her with a fallaway slam. Raquel then clotheslines her, drop kicks Zaya, and then hits her with a spinning kick. Or Zaya hits Raquel with a spinning kick to the back. And then Raquel throws Zaya down in a spine buster before getting like this corkscrew pancake to senton kind of deal.
It was I think they called it a spinning Vader bomb.
Okay, that makes sense.
Something like that.
It's exactly what it is, basically. So yeah, she hits that. Ass entirely landing on Xia Li's entire midsection.
And Zaya's basically cradling her ribs. And the medical team comes to check on her. No idea if it's real or not. But they apparently clear her to finish the match. And Raquel just gives the one-handed spine buster to win.
If it wasn't real, then I'm more annoyed. Because they took a really long time out of a very short match to do the medics bit.
Yeah.
So as harsh as it sounds, you kind of hope that it is real because, like, otherwise it's just shitty writing.
I don't know. I feel like it would be worse if, like, the doctors came and just looked at her and like, okay, you're fine.
It's true.
But I mean, it's what we all expected of this match. But right as Raquel and Dakota are going up the ramp, Samoa Joe comes charging out. He says, Karrion Kross, come out and play. Reference to the Warriors. Tonight you will learn there will be a reckoning. Karrion appears on the jumbo. He says, Hey Joe! Hey Joe! This is my world now. I am the new beginning. This means I can go wherever I want. He holds up the title. I can do whatever I want. I can hurt anybody I want, except Jeff Hardy. For example, and he shows Regal unconscious, because the only person Karrion can beat is an old man. Joe then goes running out. Karrion says, do you still feel like you're in control? Who provoked who? Karrion leaves, and then Joe comes running out, but by then Karrion's in his car, driving away. And that is the recap. We now have the bests of the night. If you have a question for our question segment, which will be after the best of the night, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it by the time we're done with the best of the night. So, promo of the night. I know immediately what I'm going for.
Okay.
I'll wait till you put up the sign.
I think I know what I'm going for.
Okay. I feel like we're in agreement. So, my pick for promo of the night is Samoa Joe. The opening bit. I wanted to consider the mariachi madness, but Hit Row just did not have any punches that were not like stereotypical. Until Swerve started talking. But yeah, Joe is fucking amazing at everything.
It was so good.
All right, so Wrestler of the Night. Feel like I know what I'm gonna pick. Feel like I know what you're gonna pick, but I'm gonna go through it anyway for your sake. So we started off with Diamond Mine versus Kushida and Bobby Fish. My pick is Roderick Strong for this match. He was fucking great. I mean, I wanted to pick Kushida, but Kushida was hot for like the last quarter of the match. Roddy carried the match through and through, like entirely, and kept showing why he's such an incredible wrestler, and one of the best in the entire brand, if not the whole promotion. Then we had Frankie Monet and JC Jane, but I guess I gotta go with Frankie Monet. JC Jane was fucking annoying. I'm still not convinced Frankie's very good. I don't know. I haven't seen any of her Impact stuff. But she just has not put on great performances in NXT. What are you looking at?
I saw a mosquito.
Okay. Then we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Theory, and my pick is Austin Theory. It was close between these two guys. They both put on amazing performances, but I think what puts me over with Austin is his character storytelling throughout the entire match. He had an arc in that one match, starting off just getting annoyed by Kyle putting on the offense, progressively getting more and more annoyed until he turned Hulk mode, but couldn't do it enough, couldn't take the pain enough, and ended with that tap. And let's talk about his fucking offense too. That brainbuster was killer. He was fantastic in this match. After that, we had Odyssey Jones versus Andre Chase. I'll go with Odyssey Jones. He's got a great vibe to him. Just his demeanor is fantastic. And he's got the athleticism to back up the mass. So, great stuff. Then we had LA Knight versus Drake Maverick. I don't know. I guess I'll go with Drake Maverick. This wasn't a very entertaining match at all. Until the spot with the belt. Yeah, I guess Drake Maverick. I don't know. Then finally, Raquel Gonzalez versus Xia Li. It's Raquel. Xia didn't get a ton of offense in. She had that cool move where she got her knees up on Raquel's shoulders. That was cool. But this match was almost entirely Raquel's, even with the character work. But even then, it wasn't very strong. I feel like she kind of phoned it in for this match in terms of her character work.
Yeah. It's just a shame that, like, Kylie probably has broken fucking ribs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if she actually broken ribs too, by the way, and took that fucking power bomb.
I mean,
terrifying. She
knew she had one move left to take.
Grinned and bared it, I guess.
There's a reason why Vader landed on his stomach and not his back.
I mean, the tailbone is pretty fucking solid.
Mm-hmm.
Start there.
Especially since Raquel touts her strong-ass back.
Incredibly strong back. Yeah.
But my pick for Wrestler of the Night tonight is Austin Theory. He put up one of the best performances I've seen in a long-ass time in NXT. In a single match. In a single one-off.
Will not be going with that today. I would agree. I don't think this was the strongest Austin Theory match we have seen in a while.
Okay.
I'll be going with Mr. Roderick Strong because you already said his name, so I'm gonna just stick with what I know.
What?
Like, I'm not gonna choose somebody that you haven't said.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a harder hill to fucking climb up at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, I will still disagree because Theory just gave an incredible performance for literally a one-off match.
And like, if you said Kyle even, I would have been like, yeah, sure.
I don't get it.
Kyle's goofy.
Okay, so was Austin. Kyle gets in a more serious mode when it's not spots like the little slap. 99% of the match, he remains focused on his wrestling skill. Theory in this match, he brought the character work throughout the entire thing. Even in his selling. But I will disagree. So we'll leave it up to the chat to break this tie between Austin Theory and Roderick Strong. Who do you guys think was the wrestler of the night tonight on NXT? And in the meantime, let's talk about match of the night. We'll go from my least favorite to my favorite. And I think you'll agree with this list. I think. So, least favorite with a 3 out of 10. JC Jane versus Frankie Monet. It was not good. It wasn't. JC Jane was annoying. Mandy Rose sitting on the commentary table. The best part about it, though, was when she was sitting on the announce table, Wade Barrett just shouted, "I can't see!"
Odd.
Oh, good stuff. Alright, so next, with a 4 out of 10, Raquel Gonzalez versus Xia Li. It was okay. It really had nothing to it. Raquel was hamming up her performance the whole time. She looked like she was giving a performance where she knew she was going to give up the title, but she didn't. So that's the confusing part.
Yeah, I get that.
Then with a 4 out of 10, LA Knight versus Drake Maverick. It was fine. Had some good comedy bits to it with Cameron Grimes and LA Knight, but there's like nothing to it. Next up, with a 5 out of 10, Andre Chase versus Odyssey Jones. It was a fun match.
Okay.
Decently fun.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, it was alright. Can't wait to see a real brawl between Odyssey Jones and somebody like with some just fast ass offense, like Carmelo Hayes. Put him up against Odyssey Jones. If that's like the next stage in the tournament, that'd be a lot of fun to see.
We would know if we were looking at a bracket.
Yeah, I don't think they have a bracket right now.
They did.
Oh, maybe. But put Kushida up against Odyssey Jones. That would be great. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Next, with a 7 out of 10, Roderick Strong and Tyler Rust versus Bobby Fish and Kushida. This match was a ton of fun. It was just a blast through and through. There wasn't too much to it. It wasn't a big, story heavy match, but it was a lot of fun. Great to see the offense from Roddy, Tyler Rust, and Kushida. Bobby was good. But yeah, it was a delight to see. A great way to open up a show. And then finally, with a 9 out of 10, Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Theory. My pick for match of the night. It just went off, and the fact that they turned this match that was just it was literally just a one-off because Kyle wanted to fight someone, and they made it into something that was so goddamn entertaining. It was just so much fun, and the whole match had its own story, and it felt like a takeover match. It really did. So, do you agree?
Emotionally, no.
Okay.
Theoretically, yes.
But practically.
Practically, yes.
Okay. I know you want to disagree just because of Austin Theory. But you've went with Riddle matches of the night.
I know, and it fucking feels like you're pulling my teeth every single fucking time.
But yeah, you still do it.
I don't always want to sit here and argue. Sometimes I have headaches. However, that said, I will go with this because nothing else really stood out to me, and the only other match that I totally choose because of maybe sort of kind of maybe bias would be our first match, and I just didn't like the outcome of that, so I won't agree.
Did you not like the outcome because Tyler Rust got pinned?
I didn't like the outcome because Tyler Rust, who's been in many a match before and is a technical wrestler, tapped so fucking quickly.
But you also have to remember, he tapped to the Cruiserweight champion, who was a master.
Somebody that he's wrestled before.
Has he wrestled him? He wrestled him and lost, I think. I don't think anyone's really beat Kushida except maybe Pete Dunne.
I thought that was a really stupid finish. Not even like, even if he had gotten pinned, or rather, even if he had submitted, but like held out for a couple of seconds, it didn't even look like Kushida had it locked in. He tapped, so I soured me on that match.
Maybe Malcolm Bivens whispered to him backstage and was like, "If you get into that goddamn hoverboard lock, you tap out immediately because I'm not letting your fragile bones break."
Oh, Bivens is just trying to take care of his boy.
And Miriam even said he did fight Kushida before and Malcolm ended the match halfway for Tyler.
Oh. Okay.
So maybe that did happen.
Maybe Malcolm has this thing where he's like, I swear to God, if he gets that fucking hoverboard lock on you, I swear to God, Tyler. And Tyler's like, fuck, I don't want to make Malcolm mad.
He just doesn't want his proteges to be injured.
Understandable. It was kind of sweet though that like Roddy was cheering Tyler on and Hideki was cheering Tyler on and Roddy. Like, I don't know. And Tyler was cheering Roddy on. I love them. I love hearing boys cheer for each other. It's so sweet. That's how I'll give you your victory, by not talking about the actual match that you're choosing.
You gotta see an actual match for what it is. And I see this as a 9 out of 10. Alright, so our Wrestler of the Night's still tied between Roderick Strong and Austin Theory. So we'll leave that up to the chat for the questions segment, which we're going to go to now. Miriam has a question. She said, where would you ideally like to see Daniel Bryan go after WWE? Everywhere. Literally everywhere.
NXT.
No.
He'd be good in Impact.
Yeah, he'd be good in Impact. I would want him to float around. I want him to be like Frankie Kazarian kind of.
Yeah.
Or like Kenny, just float around.
Yeah, I think Impact would be good, but I do think that him just going wherever he wants without being tied down would be perfect.
He would definitely go to AEW over Impact, in my opinion, because of the crowd. Impact doesn't have a crowd.
Yeah, I 100% think so. I just think that he would fit in at Impact well, but I think honestly he's going to be one of those surprise signings very, very soon.
I think so, yeah. I can imagine though if he goes to AEW, he would probably join Cody Rhodes's Island of Relevancy. He would join Cody Island. Except not in the same way that Malachi just did. He would join Cody Rhodes as like part of the Nightmare family or yeah, something like that.
Get that.
That's just where I can imagine him going.
I don't know. I think it depends. I just not
Maybe
sure.
maybe lead Dark Order. Although they wouldn't want another leader, but maybe join Dark Order for the sake of Brody.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see him do some. I want to see him. Really, is what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. Alright, so unless there are any more questions, that is the end of the show. Liz, would you like to close out?
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. Join us tonight, thank you. And if you join us in the future, thank you. We will be live. Oh, you're leaving? Okay. We will be live Friday with our SmackDown podcast. I will be talking about Finn Balor and nothing else.
I guess I'll have to talk about everything else.
That's you.
Watch Big E cashes in and Liz refuses to talk about it.
It wasn't Finn Balor, and I don't care. But yeah, we'll be live on Friday, so please tune in. And then we won't be live ever again.
Oh. Okay.
That's it, folks.
Finally.
We're wrapping it up.
Finally.
Throwing this in the bin.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. You can see all of our previous episodes there, as well as Pepita Predicts, where she predicts the outcomes of pay-per-views.
Pepita Predicts.
If you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23, and we'll see you on Friday for SmackDown. See you then.